Would they ever have the guts to do it? Would they ever have the guts to trade Klay Thompson? Welcome to the Damon Brew Show. It is really good to have you here. Welcome back to the Plus. It's good to see you. I'm happy to report that the chat seems like it is indeed working right now. So we will be having a Club Plus in just a little bit. But man, oh man, I did a home and home last night with Larry Krueger, and he officially buried what I thought was the lead, because like the last thing he asked me after a great conversation was, what do you think the Warriors may be trading Klay Thompson? And I was like, wow, I really haven't thought of that, because I don't think that that's something that they would necessarily do. Larry said that he heard an interview with Larry Harris and Monty Poole that basically suggested Larry Harris sounded like he was setting up everyone for something big to happen here in the next 24, 48 hours with a comprehensively changing the identity of the team level trade. And I just don't know how much I even want to talk about that, how much I even want to really get into that. I just, my immediate question is, for who, for what? For who, for what? What would you trade Klay Thompson for? The player that you'd have to get back in return for Klay Thompson would simply have to be so universally agreed upon Warriors fans wouldn't be mad at trading Klay Thompson. And there's no scenario where Warriors fans aren't mad at a Klay Thompson trade. He is beloved around here. But we also are looking at a guy who, as a 33-year-old, is, his on-court age is probably closer to approaching 40 than it is remaining at 30. Like, Klay's been through an awful lot, a ton of postseason games, 2 bad injuries, and we all know that even though some of his shooting splits at times can look fantastic, he is not the player he used to be. He's not who he used to be defensively. And we know for a fact that he is going to be making some serious money. $43 million this year. Then he is an unrestricted free agent. And the Warriors are in a situation with him where they wouldn't even get compensation back if he just left them in free agency. So what are you going to do? Are you going to have a player who officially walks away for nothing because the Warriors aren't willing to now give Klay the money he's going to expect at the end of this? Is Klay going to go from, hey, I'm making $43 million a year to now I'm comfortable making $20 million a year? I don't think so. That's really not how players go about looking at their careers or contracts. Or, Klay has got an ego, and he's going to say, what about all that time served? But again, this kind of blew me away when Larry brought it up at the end of our home and home last night on his channel. And it made me think, like, it stayed with me. I thought about it all night. Like, what would you do for Klay Thompson? And one of the first names he threw out was Karl Anthony Towns. I really don't like Karl Anthony Towns. That wouldn't leave me very satisfied. Is he a big? Yes, he is. He's a 7-footer who likes to spend way too much time at the perimeter as far as I'm concerned. But a man who claims to be one of the great shooting bigs of all time on the Warriors, I could see how they would get production out of that. Okay, I could see it. And the money kind of lines up. The money lines up. You could do Klay for Karl Anthony Towns kind of straight up, but the Minnesota Timberwolves have a 2-guard in Anthony Edwards. So why are they doing that deal? Are they demonstrably better if they do that deal? Even though they've set their team up around Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns, which is one of the weirdest ways to set an NBA team up these days, what would they do there? If you look at how the Warriors have gone about pursuing a few free agents and landing the draft pick that was Brandon Podziemski, look, when it comes to the business of 2 guards, the Warriors are obviously curious about this position because they went out and they drafted a 2-guard in Brandon Podziemski. Then they went after Eric Gordon, who is certainly a 2-guard. There's talk that Chris Paul, he's going to be starting. So if Chris Paul is starting, doesn't Steph Curry kind of bump over to be your 2-guard, your combo guard? Moses Moody is a 2-guard, small forward type player. Gary Payton, a combo guy, and we forget about Gary Payton II because he was hardly around even when he got traded for last year. But he's on the team. Lester Quinones, and it's just summer league games, but he's looked pretty impressive, 2-guard. So does this make Klay Thompson more expendable to the Warriors than maybe they looked at him just a couple of weeks ago? Man, it would be a huge, huge change of direction to come off of Klay Thompson. It would shake the system. It would rattle this town and sports fans in it like very few trades could. But let's be completely honest. Steph isn't going anywhere. Draymond Green obviously now has a new deal, and he's not going anywhere. I don't think Andrew Wiggins is going anywhere, which means it could be Klay Thompson's turn if they really are saying, well, we need to do something big to change the DNA of this team. We need to do something different. Maybe Klay's name does come up in those conversations. It's almost too overwhelming to think about. It's like, oh, man, Klay Thompson. It's hard to think of more beloved, important players who have given their all to a franchise than Klay Thompson. But it was a little bit of a weird year. It was a year where it felt like every single Golden State Warrior fell out of love with being a Golden State Warrior just a little bit, and maybe it was Jordan Poole in the aftermath of all that, and this will be a put it back together year where everyone feels much, much differently. I don't know. But it is, if Larry Harris is truly setting everyone up, sort of setting the table for something big to happen, that would be something big to happen. Pascal Siakam, would he be available to the Clippers to maybe bring you back a Paul George, Kawhi Leonard? I don't know. I don't know why the Clippers would necessarily go ahead and make that trade at this point in Klay's career. It's a weird, weird time to be Klay Thompson because no one really knows what you got left. No one really knows what you're going to offer the Warriors this upcoming year. Everyone knows that you had a spectacular February with a lot of ho-hum kind of wrapped around it. How much does Klay have left? It's a situation that's got to keep the Warriors front office up a little bit at night. So it's something big could happen or nothing happens. And this is simply, remember when we talked about trading Klay Thompson for Kevin Love, and thank God that didn't happen? Who knows? But Larry has a hunch, Larry Krueger does, that something, if it were to happen, could happen in the next 24, 48 hours. And so when he said that at the end of our conversation last night, instead of just going to bed, I went upstairs and I thought about it for a couple hours. There's a part of me that sees the merits in holding on to Klay. There's parts of me that sees the merits in saying goodbye and thank you and bringing him using. Here's the thing. I hate to talk about using Klay Thompson, but that's what you're doing. You're using Klay Thompson to get back an asset that you think will be have a better chance to be part of your next championship core than Klay Thompson has a chance to hold on to the memories of the championship core, which is clearly approaching. It's closer to the end of its competitive lifetime than it is at the beginning. So, man, okay, Klay Thompson on the market. That just feels like I don't know. I know that Ramona Shelburne was talking about, hey, the Warriors could have maybe held on to Jordan Poole and traded him up to Portland for Dame Lillard. I don't know if that fits. The money fits. If that I don't know. I just don't know. Dame really seems to want to go to Miami. Would he have wanted to come to the Warriors, the team that he grew up rooting for as a kid? Maybe, but that, if anything, you can't blame the Warriors. Blame Dame for taking so long to decide, all right, it's time for me to maybe get out of Portland. I don't know what the package back Miami can put together. If the Warriors could have bettered it, would Klay Thompson have been a name to dangle? Probably not at this point in his career. Jordan Poole, probably not. So, the whole you could have had Dame Lillard. It would have been so easy if you just hadn't done the Jordan Poole to the Washington Wizards trade. I don't think it's that simple. I just don't think it's that simple. So this is are these interesting times? We don't know. But we're about to find out. And obviously, if the Warriors were to do something like trade Klay Thompson, it would be a massive change of direction. It'd be the biggest decision that this team's made in a very, very long time. I want to say thank you so much to our sponsors who are absolutely wonderful and are out there feeding the good people of the world with delicious sandwiches. My man, Ike. Ike has got a sandwich with your name on it. He puts all of his names on his sandwiches because he's proud of them. You will be very, very happy with no matter what you decide to go with. There is something there for you. If you're one of them vegans, he's even got sandwiches for you, of all people. So go ahead, pick yourself up an Ike sandwich. It is available on an app, and I'm just not talking about going to DoorDash or Uber Eats. Like, he has his own app. Download the Ike app, start earning rewards points for free sandwiches, and you'll be happy that you did. You'll be very, very happy that you did. Check out my man Ike. You probably know an awful lot about him because you've already had the sandwiches. I hope you've already had the cocktail, Black and Whiskey. It is delicious. It is phenomenal. It works neat. It works on the rocks. It works straight up. It works in a cocktail. It is just a fantastic bottle of whiskey at the right price point. Go ahead and get yourself the Bevmo. And if where you buy your liquor doesn't have blackened, ask the guy behind the counter. Order some blackened, and I'll come in and I'll buy it because Damon Bruce told me to. And then he'll probably say, well, who's Damon Bruce? And you can say, well, he's one of the best sports talk guys I've ever seen. You go ahead and subscribe to him on YouTube at Damon Bruce Plus, or download that podcast. And that's how we all help each other out here. And let me tell you, when you want to help yourself to a delicious cheeseburger, the official burger of the Damon Bruce Show is at Uncle Boy's on Balboa and 4th in Inner Richmond, San Francisco. Original Uncle Boy's delicious burgers right off the grill. You got the grill marks in them, flame broiled, baby, but a lot better than that other flame broiled Whopper. No. This is a real burger, real meat, real bun, real burger. And the lumpia is really good. Get yourself some lumpia, get yourself some onion rings, and you're going to be very, very happy. Get it all to go. Head on home. You can sit in their little parklet and enjoy yourself. Uncle Boys, baby. Get yourself some today. You'll be happy that you did. Thanks to our sponsors. We love you very, very much. Warriors Summer League saw them get into the win column against the Charlotte Hornets, who didn't look particularly good. Trace Jackson Davis makes his Summer League debut Friday night against the Lakers in Las Vegas. I'm very much looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing more of Lester Quinones and more Brandon Pajemski. And look, the Warriors got some interesting pieces. What do you take away from Summer League production? I really don't know. The league really doesn't know. But I'm happy to have basketball back in the little slice that it's served up, and I can't wait to see Trace Jackson Davis actually out there. And obviously, neither can the Warriors. By the way, games on Sunday for the Warriors in Vegas on Wednesday afternoon as well, beginning Friday night against the Lakers. The games are on ESPN, ESPN2, NBA TV. All your usual suspects will be covering Warriors Vegas Summer League. Trace Jackson Davis has officially inked a 4-year contract, 2 years guaranteed on a 4-year deal. Not a lot of picks at 57 are getting 4-year deals put in front of them, just kind of sight unseen. So the Warriors must like him an awful, awful lot. And I know for a fact that he was way higher on their draft board than other teams clearly had him, because the rest of the NBA decided we ain't even thinking about drafting him. The Warriors were thinking about drafting him in the first round. And when he just fell to the back end of the second round, they said, well, why not? Why wouldn't we go in and get someone that we really think could fit this team? So they have spoken about the fit that they believe he has for them in just this contract alone. The NBA in-season tournament that no one but Adam Silver wanted to happen is happening this year. I don't know if you saw this story. The NBA's in-season tournament will have its Final Four in Las Vegas, December 7th through the 9th. The semifinals and the finals are going to take place in Las Vegas. Per a report, statistics for the tournament will count towards the regular season, except for those in the championship game. And basically, the NBA is rolling this out World Cup style. There's group play, then a knockout round, and then you get your Final Four. Teams will be assigned to 6 intra-conference pools of 5, not necessarily by division. On designated days during the first 6 weeks of the regular season, teams will play 4 group games, 1 each against the other team in their pool. Everyone plays 2 at home and 2 on the road. So not only is this a regular season game, this is going to count to your group stage standings, is what will be offered to you a few times in the first 6 weeks of the year. The winners of each pool and a 2-team wildcard, 2 wildcard teams will advance to a single elimination tournament, the knockout round. Tiebreakers to determine the 8 participants, such as point differential, they're still being discussed. The NBA is still ironing out some of the details here. But winners of the first tournament, players will be eligible for a $500,000 each if they're on the championship team for this in-season tournament, again, that no one asked for. The NBA wants. It feels like this is Adam Silver's pet project. And here are just a few things I have to say about Adam Silver's pet project. Number 1, if it adds some intensity to otherwise dismissible, unnoticeable early regular season games, okay, like that's good. I think that's decent. But if it for whatever reason affects any sort of minute manipulation or becomes a load management issue because of this nonsensical, doesn't really matter, and honestly, for a $500,000, that'll mean something to the guys on the end of the bench. It won't mean anything to us as a starter in the NBA. $500,000 is tip money in the NBA to guys who are starting. So it's not like they're going to be driven for money. But if it gets you a little extra hop, skip, and step from players because they feel something more is attached to this game or not, that's good. But if for whatever reason you're going to lay off a game the night before because you deem next night's regular season game more important because it's an in-season tournament game, like that to me doesn't work. The NBA, more than it needs an in-season tournament, needs more time in which to conduct its regular season so more players are available to start 82 games unless they're hurt. That's what this league needs. What does the league need more than anything else? Players to routinely start 82 games again if they ain't hurt. That's what the NBA needs more than anything. So we'll see. We will see. The NBA tournament that no one asked for, no one really wanted, but Adam Silver is coming. Huzzah. Whatever. Little baseball for you. The Giants got the Rockies rolling into town on Friday night. It is a dark night for the Giants. Luckily for them, it wasn't a dark series that saw Broomhilda emerge from the shadows against the Seattle Mariners. The Giants were able to salvage the final game, and they did it with only 2 runs. They're having trouble scoring runs right now. There's no doubt about that, but they beat the Mariners 2-0. Alex Cobb came out. He was the stopper of a 4-game losing streak. He has been a very important piece of their rotation. They got to get DeSclafani out of that rotation. They need another pitcher. They need another hitter. But the Giants, they'd like to end their first half on a positive note. And look, the Rockies give you an opportunity to end a series on a positive note. That's got to be 2 out of 3 against the Rockies if you're the Giants and you really want to be taken seriously after the All-Star break. Again, they went on a little bit of a skid, losing 8 of 12 after their 10-game win streak there. And, you know, disappointing for sure, but all I can tell you is this. There's still an awful lot of baseball coming up this summer. And I've always been a big fan of getting your worst week, 10-game stretch of the season out of the way before the All-Star break as opposed to after the All-Star break. Because after the All-Star break, let's face it, the price of poker goes up in Major League Baseball. So good to get it behind you. hopefully brighter things ahead for the Giants, who, again, they got to pick up this offense again. They need better at-bats. They need more balls in play. They need to stop stranding guys on base. They need to be a little bit more patient. They need to learn how to draw walks again. So maybe a little cooling off time during the All-Star break will be exactly what the Giants need to hit that reset button. A's and Tigers, this game, I believe, is underway. The A's actually have a chance to sweep a 3-game series in Detroit. What are they doing right now? I could actually have this game on my TV, but I don't right now. Let's see. What are the A's doing? They are underway, and they're losing 6-0 in the top of the 5th. Wah, wah. Oh, A's. The A's will be in Boston on Friday to wrap up their first half at Fenway. I saw Tristy Rodriguez write a column about the ownership vote that will determine whether or not the A's are indeed heading to Las Vegas. And this was kind of aggregated from a conversation between Ken Rosenthal and Tim Kawakami on the TK show. And remember, for the A's to be approved to move to Las Vegas, 75% of all owners need to say, okay, let's do this. So Rosenthal, talking to Tim, when asked about what he's hearing just from rumblings around Major League ownership, he basically said, depends on who you talk to. Different clubs, different owners have different perspectives. Some of the large market clubs, from my understanding and the conversations that I've had, are not happy with this. Not happy that they're still going to be on the revenue sharing lamb. Not happy that they're vacating the 6th largest market. Not happy with the way the team has been run with the revenue sharing dollars in the last year. So those owners, will see how vocal they are when this vote is actually taken. I suspect they'll all fall in line, as they always do, but maybe not. This is something to watch, offers Ken Rosenthal. I mean, he gives up the game right there. Sure, there might be some scolding or some shame on you, John Fisher, around the table, but when it's all said and done, the owners will get in line and do what they believe is best for another owner, even if they don't even believe in that owner. And Rosenthal went on to say, you have other owners who just want to see this resolved. They think of Vegas as a better market than maybe you or I think of it. And they know that if you get this resolved, then you get Tampa Bay resolved, then baseball expands by 2 teams, and who knows, maybe even back to Oakland. And you add those expansion fees, they come in, everybody's happy. But again, they're going to waive a relocation fee for John Fisher. This is about making money off fees of other billionaires. How come John Fisher gets a free pass? What if they put that back on the table for John? Would John say, no? I don't know. And look, the excuse of owners are tired of this conversation, they just want it resolved, that's so lame. That's so lame. It's basically saying, yeah, I don't care if you get it right or wrong. Just give me your answer. If I'm the city of Oakland and the A's actually do have Major League Baseball's approval to move to Las Vegas, I am summoning the greatest lawyer in California to do what the city of Cleveland did when the Browns decided to go to Baltimore to become the Ravens. They're saying, you're not taking the team's history with you. You're leaving it with you. You don't take the mascot. You don't take the colors. You don't take any of the team's history. And so guess what, Vegas? Even though you got the A's and John Fisher, you don't have Major League history, and what you have is an expansion team that comes with John Fisher instead of just waiting for your expansion team. Again, I have no idea why Las Vegas, who is 1,000% going to get a baseball team one day, why they would want this son of a bitch coming in to be their owner. Ken Rosenthal goes on to say, there's a wide variety of opinions. The parting line for Rob Manfred, as you know, and everyone else out there knows, is that, hey, we tried, we just couldn't get it done in Oakland. You can make the case that they certainly had a long enough time, Oakland, to get this done, or any other area in the Bay Area. But you could also make the case that John Fisher overshot his hand with the city. And if you think you've detailed all the features, all the failures very well, again, everyone who has covered this story has detailed all the failures of that John Fisher owner group very, very well. It shows this group has kind of bumbled their way for decades. And now here we are. I would say that if I were running this sport, I would want someone other than John Fisher owning that team. Ding, 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 ding. We finally had the correct answer. That's what I would love. That's what I would love to come out of this ownership meeting. Every single owner saying, you know what, John, what we really want is not so much the A's in Las Vegas or even the A's back in Oakland, to be brutally honest about it. What we want is you out of the club. You are thrown out of the country club. Baseball. There's no argument that could possibly be made that baseball's better with John Fisher in it. It's impossible to make that argument. All he does is suck resources from other owners to field a team that isn't competitive by intention, just so he can get his own way. I fucking hate him so much. I do. I hate him so much. I hate him so much. Again, the only thing that's going to bring me back into that Coliseum, the only thing that trumps my emotion of hatred of John Fisher is my love of Shohei Ohtani. And I've even said, I'm going to go back to the Coliseum one more time for sure to watch Shohei. It feels like I was the first on to, hey, this guy's a really good baseball player. I don't know why I was the first in America to discover this, but it feels like in just the last week or two, the rest of America is catching on to the videos that I've been putting out for a few weeks now. Like, this is the least covered important story of our sports lifetime, what Shohei Ohtani's doing. Jeff Passan wrote a story saying this guy just maybe had the single greatest month in the history of baseball. That's how good June was to Shohei Ohtani. And Jeff Passan writes, in the modern era, again, that started back in 1900, upward of 20,000 men have played Major League Baseball. And over that time, there have been well over 1 million individual months of baseball. And towards the end of June, one person's awe-inspiring day-after-day performance prompted a question that seemed worthy of trying to answer. Is Shohei Ohtani having the best month in the history of Major League Baseball? In over 126 plate appearances, he batted .394 and led the majors in on-base percentage at .492, a slugging percentage of .952, and on-base plus slugging of 1.444. He led Major League Baseball in home runs and in RBIs and in extra base hits and in total bases. And while he was doing all of that at the plate, he also threw 30 1/3 sterling innings with a 3.26 ERA, 37 strikeouts, and an opponent's slash line of 228, 302, 368. He has strung together incredible performances in the past, but nothing like this. So I'd like to welcome the rest of the world. And obviously, if you're watching from Japan today, konnichiwa, great to have you here. Smash that like button, everyone. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications and never miss a thing. Yeah. Welcome to the party, pals. Welcome. Everyone's finally starting to see what I am seeing with my own two eyes. Don't tell me Babe Ruth would be better when you can't even recognize modern Babe Ruth when he's playing in front of you. Guy's just awe-inspiring. Totally awe-inspiring. What is not awe-inspiring is a 10-year anniversary that is happening today. 10 years ago today, and I was told about this by a longtime listener named AJ, who says, Damon, we are 10 years out of one of the finest shows you have ever hosted. One of the funniest shows you have ever hosted. It is the 10-year anniversary of KTVU's plane crash coverage at SFO. Now, there's never anything funny about a plane crash. We all know that. But as we look for the erosion of journalism, I mean, I think that this was one of those all-time moments. To to just prove to you that there are very few adults left in newsrooms, editors who know what they're doing. A lot of you all watched The Wire. Remember the old guy that was sitting in the Baltimore Sun's newsroom who they would go to for the correct sentence formation or the right word to use? You know, don't use the word less, use the word fewer in this instance. The old sage of the newsroom whose editor eye spots mistakes from 1,000 miles away. 10 years ago, seen by a producer, written by someone who ever puts anything on a teleprompter, like they actually went with the names of Something Wong, Wee Too Low, Holy Fook, and Bang Diao as names of the airplane's crew that were responsible for the crash. I mean, come on. Like, Something Wong should have sort of given up the game right with that very first name. But maybe, you didn't say it out loud. You just read it. Something Wong, with Wong being one of the most common surnames in the world. Okay. All right. So, if you don't say it out loud and you just read Something Wong, you could say that maybe is a real name. But as soon as you say it out loud, a red light should have gone off. Wee Too Low, how'd that get past you? Holy Fook, again, did you say any of these out loud? Did you say any of them out loud? Bang Ding Ow. How have you not lived in the Bay Area enough around the Asian community long enough to know that you've never met anyone named Bang? I've got a lot of friends who are of Asian persuasion, and none of them are named Bang Ding Ow. Come on. That was a dark day for KTVU broadcasts as well. A lot of people are claiming that yesterday was a dark day for Elon Musk and social media as Instagram's checkmate to Twitter was launched, called Thread. And look, I signed up. I even posted something, but I got no followers on Instagram. I never really used Instagram. I just started using Thread. I feel like Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. I'm too old for this shit. There's a new social media feed that's supposed to eradicate Twitter every single time you look up, but nothing ever actually does it. Nothing does it. Nothing gets rid of Twitter, even though everyone claims to hate it and they can't stand it and it's toxic and I don't want to be on it and Elon has ruined it and I'm off. No, here's the thing. No one leaves. The first place everyone went to say, hey, everyone, I'm on Thread, was on Twitter. And what is gross is how little any blowback you'd think Elon would feel from the Twitter business model looking worse and worse by the day, limiting views. Basically, I don't know how you could be in the advertising business, and that's the business that he's in. He's selling advertising, and limit eyeballs on the product that you're selling. But to say that Elon doesn't care whether Twitter is a financial success or a failure is a massive understatement. Maybe he does want to just reprogram this thing for the Republican right and turn it into a cesspool that belittles real journalism. Maybe he wants to do that. Maybe he doesn't want to do that. I don't want to evaluate who Elon Musk is as a person at all. I don't know. He doesn't seem like someone cool. But what he is rich. And rich to the point of he ain't getting poorer. No matter how bad Twitter is going for him, he's got enough money to throw at any problem he would ever want in perpetuity. In late May, Elon Musk reclaimed his position as the world's wealthiest person. Tesla share prices soared nearly 90% in the first 5 months of 2023. Remember, everyone said, well, Tesla's going to come crashing down. It did not. Tesla stock has climbed another 30% to a 10-month high of $283 a share, which means now Elon is worth nearly $250 billion. Oh, but he's losing his shirt on Twitter, with Twitter in his group of assets. He's richer now than ever before. When you have enough money, it seems like the only thing you're allowed to do is fail falling forward. John Fisher, he's allowed to just fail falling forward over and over again. Elon Musk might be good at building cars and rockets, but the social media thing feels like a little bit of a disaster. But he's not worried about that any more than you're worried about going and filling up the next tank of gas. Like, if you can afford a car, if you have a job, the gas is something you don't even really worry about. Well, gas prices are up. Yeah, but whatever. This is a got to do it. And that's the way Elon, I think, looks at Twitter. He's running it the way he wants to, which is maybe intentionally into the ground, and he's got enough money to burn something that he bought for, $44 billion down right to the ground. And oh, by the way, every single time you hear Twitter is about to drown, boop, pops back up for air. So I don't know if Thread's going to do it. I'll tell you what would do it. Like, if you really did want to start a competitive social media feed to rival Twitter, here's what you would give people. You'd give people what they want. I only want to see tweets from the people that I follow in chronological order. That's it. Stop using a computer's algorithm to tell me the things you think I might want to see, and just show me what I signed up for. That's all anyone, I think, really wants out of it. And it's the one thing that not even Thread gives new people to that site. What do they say? Blue Sky? Blueski? I don't know how you pronounce it. Blue Sky or Blueski? I don't know. That's still in its beta phase. They're not even letting you sign up. Even if you do, or you sign up, or you're still on a wait list. Like, launch that shit. And if it's going to be officially just the things that I follow given to me in the chronological order in which they come out, that to me would be the X marks the spot, right? So there you go. We begin the day with a little Klay Thompson anxiety. Would there be a trade? Would the Warriors have the guts to trade Klay Thompson? Whew. That's a big ask, man. That is a big, big bite of the apple to take. So we'll see if they got the guts to do that. And who they would do that for would have to be such a universally agreed upon good move. It's going to be hard to sell Warriors fans on it was a good idea to trade Klay Thompson. Maybe it's a little bit easier now to sell it than before, but that's where today's show started. It ends with Elon and Twitter. It involved John Fisher. It involved Trace Jackson Davis and Summer League, and I thought I put together a nice thumbnail for today. Click if you like that thumbnail. I'm starting to learn how to do those too. Trying to get Jillian more time off here as CEO of the Plus. So look, for a slow news day, I thought we had a pretty damn good show today. And what I can tell you is that the chat is officially back up and working. I don't know why Restream coughed it up just yesterday, but let's get into it right now, which means it's officially time for a little Club Plus. So let me say thank you very much. If you just turned in today for the podcast, we appreciate you so much. And please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. All right, hold on. Let me tone this down just a little. Let me get just a little sexier. Yeah, that's the mood I'm looking for. And then wait a minute. We need disco. There we go. See, you take one day off from Club Plus and you almost forget how to do it, Damon, you idiot.
Get it together, man. Get it together. This is what the people want. People stick around for the Club Plus. They ask for it. They demand it by name. Give the people what they want. And fill up the ganja jar while you're doing it.
Oh, yeah. Ta-da. Blackened indeed. Blackened indeed. All right, let's see where we are here on the chat. We're picking things up from about 21 minutes into the show. Again, this thing only limits me to like 100. I can't go all the way back to the very, very beginning of the show. So we'll just start with Erwin suggesting to everyone to hit that like button, everybody. Yeah, man, milk that algorithm. We're coming out of the 4th of July holiday. I expected the eyeballs to be off the show for a day or two. People are on vacation. So do whatever you can to make that algorithm happy and share me with the good people out there. I would appreciate that indeed. Let's see. Philip says, the Oakland Coliseum is a dump. Vegas is building a brand new ballpark. End of story. Well, yeah, but that is a story that didn't have to end like that. The city of Oakland wants to build a new ballpark, but I'm just building a ballpark in Oakland isn't an option that Oakland ever really had. Oakland was asked for a $12 billion construction project, and the closer they got to approving it, the quicker John Fisher went ahead and took his ball and tried to go to Vegas. So, Philip, please, thank you very much for telling me the Coliseum's a dump. It didn't have to be. It really didn't have to be. They could have gone and embraced that whole last dive bar thing and made it great. I've never been at the Coliseum and said, oh, I just hate it in here. It's a baseball game, and they got the most beautiful field in baseball. The way that grass is mowed, their grounds crew is A+, and that's what you end up looking at. Sure, Mount Davis sucks. But thank you, Philip, for watching. But you've shared with us nothing we don't already know. The Shaw, who, by the way, was watching a little Home and Home last night with yourself and Larry Krueger. Thank you, The Shaw. You are loyal indeed. It is wonderful to see your name in here again. Giants need to pull some starting pitching out of their hat. This is a rebuild year. Just enjoy the young guys and live in the moment. Yeah. Again, I don't want to see, Kyle Harrison traded to the Cubs for anyone. I just want to see him. Start the major league clock on any minor leaguer that you think could come and help you through the pitching woes that you're going through right now. Let's go. Let's go. This entire season started bouncing in the right direction for the Giants when they went ahead and called up Casey Schmidt, started with him. So, yeah, here come the kids. And if I were the Giants, I'd be comfortable calling up the kids and living with the results of that, fair or foul. I really would. East Bay Ricardo says A's fans are so tired of this conversation. They really are. Like, I don't want to hear about you know what? The owners are tired of this conversation. Imagine being an A's fan. Good Lord. Hello, Stephen Edwards. I have not seen your name on here before, so it is really nice to have you here. Hopefully you are subscribing. Says, Damon, I started listening to you when you came to 95.7. I moved to LA 10 years ago, which is obviously, look, you go to Daly City, you might be out of the 95.7 The Game broadcasting range. You're still the best, man. Thank you very much, Stephen. Glad to see you on the Plus. It is wonderful to see you on the Plus. Thank you, Stephen, for finding. Hopefully you are indeed subscribing. This is AJ Strong, who said Las Vegas residents would embrace an expansion team much more than a relocated team. There is no doubt about that. And by the way, AJ is a huge Sharks fan. He hosts a Sharks podcast. He is not only a fan of mine, but he's a friend of mine because he went out and started locking up URLs for me, knowing that other people would do so, and he didn't do it to make a profit. He did it to protect me. So AJ Strong, you got my back, which means being a Sharks guy, you've officially earned one of these. Hold on, where is it? Where is this? Oh, let me get my acts together here. You have officially earned.
Done scoring.
Thank you very much, AJ Strong,
Done scoring.
a resident Sharks fan,
Done scoring.
and he is the one who let me know about the KTVU plane crash anniversary on Twitter earlier. So thank you for even producing a segment here today, AJ. Spaghetti says you got to check out that Sphere in Vegas. Oh, hell yeah, man. That thing looks incredible. I already called Joey courtside, and I said the minute Fish attaches itself to the Sphere in Las Vegas, you're getting us tickets, Joe. Spare no expense. Beg, borrow, kill, steal. I need Joey courtside, king of Las Vegas, to get us into the Sphere. But that thing looks incredible. No doubt about it. Oh, I see we've reached the portion of the show where all the FJF hashtags come in. Yes, it is fantastic. And you're right about this. Rockin' New Era 84. Fisher's not allowed in Club Plus. No, he is not. No, he is not. Yeah, you heard those numbers on Ohtani. They are something else. He is unbelievable. Ohtani Auto Parts. Oh, no, that was a O'Reilly Auto Parts. T from the 203. Good to see you in here as always, my man. Dame Lillard in Miami. By the way, I like how Dame Lillard was like, nah, man, I'm an OG. I'm never leaving Portland. And then he follows all that up. And time served for Dame up in Portland. No doubt about that. Time served. But I love how he comes off of his I'm going to live or die a Portland Trailblazer and goes right into, I want to be traded, but only to the reigning Eastern Conference champion. That's it. That's all he'll take. That's all he's going to deal with. Paul Hansen. Good listen today. Well, thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. We try to be a good listen today for you all the time. We do the best we can. Let's see. And I agree with you right here. No doubt about it. I am Rob707. Rob, I don't think I've seen you in here before, so welcome. You got to find a way to get Ohtani in the orange and black. Yeah, you want to talk about a beg, borrow, kill, steal situation. The minute he gets to free agency, the San Francisco Giants should be waiting for him with a pile of $700 million in cash. Show him how many stories of a building that would go up and say, this is yours. This is yours. $70 million a year over the next decade. And then if the Dodgers want to go to 75, you go to 800. I mean, there should be no bidding war that the Giants aren't winning for Shohei Ohtani. They have the money. They have the assets. They haven't really spent that money on a star. They need a star, and they need a guy who does the exact two things that Ohtani does. They need a starting pitcher. They need someone who can come in here and hit 50 home runs in the middle of this lineup. He's that guy. Stacy Leo. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Stacy. Yeah, Sporticus very, very, very well sums it up. The answer to the question of what can stop Ohtani is twofold: fingernails and blisters. That's really no pitcher slows him down like his own blister and fingernail have. What a month. East Bay Ricardo. We too low. Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't even way too low. It was we too low. WIE. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Sum Ting Wong. I mean, again, I could see how that might fool you just reading it on paper. What's the old Dave Chappelle joke about Draymond Green? Draymond Green, that name is black on paper. It's a great Dave Chappelle joke. Sum Ting Wong on paper. That could be from mainland China. That could be from, okay. But when you say it out loud, you got to know that you're getting okey-doked. Again, Wong is it's the Asian equivalent of Smith or Jones. It's among the most common surnames in the world. I still don't know how the hell that got past the layers of editors that you would think something would have to pass through before it went to the actual anchor to be read into the official record on a broadcast. But everyone at KTVU, and again, this was a decade ago. How much worse is that newsroom? How much worse are all newsrooms? I'm not trying to pick on KTVU in any way, shape, or form here, but if you're smart, experienced, well-paid adults in the room were being siphoned out a decade ago, where are we today? Like, is there a single person working in a newsroom who isn't like 26 and underpaid these days? Good Lord. Here it is, spelled all correctly. Something Wong, we too low, holy fook. Holy fook? Come on, holy fook. Bang ding ow. Again, you've never, you live your entire life, not just in the Bay Area, you live your entire life in China. You're not going to meet anyone named Bang. Or maybe, but it won't be bang ding ow. That was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, we had a funny show that day. That show is actually on YouTube. You can find my live reaction to that show. It's out there. It's out there. You go, since you're on YouTube watching this, when you're done watching this, watch this twice, hit the like button, subscribe, notify, and then go and watch. I believe you just write Damon Bruce, KTVU, plane crash, and the segment appears. And I can't remember who was the nice woman who anchored that segment, but I was like, how do you not fire this woman immediately? At some point, right when she said out loud something Wong, she should have said, we'll have more details on this story as it emerges. Back to you, Mike, or whoever else was her co-anchor that day. But oh my God. Oh yeah, that's the thing. They said that name with a straight face, Spaghetti, because they got that conned by the whole thing. By the way, there are some people who are finding out about this for the first time right now. Hello, Candy. Watched that live back in the day. It was crazy. Yeah, I mean, it was, you wouldn't think that could happen, a mistake like that in a major market. You just didn't think it could actually happen. What, no one at KTVU could sound that out phonetically? Apparently not. Apparently not. By the way, what do we got here? We got Otis Bird III wishing R.I.P. Cougar Rebel a happy birthday. If that is indeed true, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear R.I.P. Cougar Rebel. Happy birthday to you. Here we go. Danny G on TV says the Asiana 214 accident actually happened 10 years ago today, but it was actually technically a week later when they made the report. Apparently KTVU covered it good until they reported the pilots' names. Yeah, look, that is very much, first of all, isn't that a Korean airline? So they're attaching Chinese names to it. They were just, look at it this way. They fooled a white 25-year-old kid in the newsroom that day. Unbelievable. Yeah, Bang is usually a surname. Legends Pizza knows what I'm talking about. The Wire is my show. I loved Gus. Not just Gus, but the old timer in the newsroom. The old timer that he would ask all of his questions to. That's the guy I'm talking about. That's the guy who no longer exists in a newsroom. And you're right. It was Torrey Campbell. Poor Torrey Campbell got played. Oh. And yes, it is there. You can go find it on YouTube. I do remember your show from KTVU when that happened. Oh, my God. It was something else. East Bay Ricardo says, the Plus is the true social media Discord site. Thank you. Thank you very much. Our little angry community over here. Appreciate that. Let's see. Now we're into the Elon. And again, I don't want to get into discussion of Elon or go Fiesta Politico on him in any way, shape, or form. But Mr. Free Speech ain't as Mr. Free Speech as he claimed to be. Yo, Adrian says, Damon is official UPS driver for the Blues. Can I just give a shout out to all my Teamster brothers and sisters and our union reps that are out there right now fighting for a fair contract? Hashtag might strike. Absolutely. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when you were considered essential employees during the pandemic. Remember that? Remember when they're like, oh, no one can go outside or breathe the oxygen. But if you're a delivery driver, if you're delivering for, forget about just packages. If you're delivering pizza, you're an essential employee now. Like the same way that we used to designate doctors at hospitals, essential employees. Get every penny you got coming to you, Adrian. I hope all of you get paid 10 times more per hour. You're worth it. Your companies can afford it. It is a hoarding of money at the top by a few, which prevents the many from getting paid. So go get every penny you can and then grab another couple nickels off the table as you're walking out the door. Getting back to the concept of trading Klay Thompson, there's no doubt HR's got this right, saying Klay is a made man, and you don't make a move on a made man without clearing it with Don Curry. And you are right about that. He's got his button. He's got a badge. And you cannot take him out without a sit down. This can't be Billy Bats at the bar. Go get your shine box. It can't. It can't be. Curry would have to sign off on that for sure. For sure. Hit that like button, boys and girls. Hit it and then quit it. That's what we're looking for. Oh, look at this. True Blue Forever. Looking to fill the jar, baby. Fill in that ganja jar, the jingle jangle. Thank you very, very much. This is what I'm talking about. Supporting me, supporting the show by supporting my sponsors. Going to Ike's today for lunch, using the great app to skip the line. That's what I'm talking about. The Plus is loose. B. Paul 30, thank you very much. Jingle jangle, the jar heating up. Oh my goodness, look at this. Michael, really filling up that jar. Glad the chat is back. Michael, thank you very, very much. Appreciate that. Appreciate the generosity indeed. And basically, DVDV.com? No. The question is then, would it be worth it? I think that means getting Steph his 5th ring. And the answer is unequivocally yes. Who is that person for? Who is that person for? Again, to trade Klay Thompson, I mean, maybe I'm just biased. It's my bias that is saying not for Karl Anthony Towns. Not for Karl Anthony Towns. Klay Thompson for Paul George? All right. I mean, I guess we could talk about that. Klay Thompson for Pascal Siakam? No. I don't think so. Although maybe Siakam could fit in beautifully with the Warriors. I could see how that could work. But again, the level of impress me with that trade would have to be significant, to say the least. Damon from Golden State, Lakota. Have you ever had Pappy Van Winkle? I have, and I need to be honest. I've always appreciated every sip of Pappy I've had. It's among the most overrated beverages in the history of the planet. It truly is. It's like it's the beer everyone gets excited over? Pliny the Elder. It's a good beer. It's an IPA. I wouldn't wait in line for it, and I wouldn't pay through the nose for it. And Pappy Van Winkle, you can find whiskeys that are all day and night long just as good. at hundreds of dollars. Pappy Van Winkle is the bottle of whiskey you pull out when you're trying to impress a whole bunch of whiskey drinkers, and the real whiskey drinkers in the room really won't be that impressed. You know what's better than a bottle of Pappy for like $300, $400, $500? Or, I mean, they get ridiculous. Is a bottle of Four Roses. Go get yourself one of those. You know, go get a bottle of Willet. Go. You could do a lot better at a much smaller price point than Pappy. And I'll tell you right now, I'll put a glass of a glass of Blackened up against a glass of Pappy any day of the week. And even if you say, well, I think I like the Pappy more, my follow-up question would be like, do you like it for $300 more? Is that price point really noticeable to you? And the answer is an unequivocal no. So Pappy is, it's a show-off bottle. When you want to show off, you pull out a bottle of Pappy. Speaking of showing off, my man McBride slipping into Club Plus today, right on time. Oh, get this man a drink. Thank you very, very much. Great to see you. McBride, my man. The Major League clock, Damon. When will Major League Baseball Players Union get rid of that crap? I think a 3-4 year controllable clock is what is needed for prospects. Well, believe me, if you owned a Major League Baseball team, you would want 7 years of club control that do not start until you play your first Major League game. They will never, Major League Baseball will never, ever, ever come off of that. Ever. It's never going to happen. And I you know, honestly, I don't have a problem with it. What I have a problem with is clock manipulation, like what the Cubs did to Chris Bryant, what other teams have done to, you know, avoid any Super 2 qualification, which would make you eligible to renegotiate. Still, that bothers me. That bothers me. Oh man, Ohtani. Yeah, it's Irish, without a doubt. Eric, thank you. Yeah, Portland probably did wait too long. I mean, here's the thing. They got nothing out of keeping him on the team, and all he is more tread off the tires, another year older. Yeah, if you're going to make the decision to roll that guy out of town, you probably should have had the guts to make that decision a little while ago. Ohtani, without a doubt, would pack the place. Worth every penny. Legend pizza. Especially with the aging culture in San Francisco. It would be like when Yao Ming came in to play in Oakland with the Houston Rockets. The most diverse crowd in the NBA, a mixture of faces that were every color of the rainbow of racial diversity, would lean heavily Asian when Yao Ming was in the building. And of course it would. I mean, to finally see a player who looks like you, even though your body type is nothing alike, but people get off on seeing representation. And it would be huge to add Shohei Ohtani. It would be monster. It would be monstrous. You could not come up. You could not come up with a name that would fill more seats more routinely than Shohei Ohtani. I love Ike's, but have you tried Jersey Mike's? They make a damn good sandwich. It's okay. It's okay, but it's very much a one-note sandwich. It's that East Coast grinder, which I do like. But no, I'm down with Ike's through and through. Ohtani would become a top 5 world athlete in San Francisco. He doesn't need San Francisco to become that. He's already in that conversation right now. But just the fact that it would be happening on a stage that people paid attention to. You know, if all Major League Baseball is Lollapalooza. The Anaheim Angels are on the stage where they have like high school garage bands compared to the main stage that is the San Francisco Giants. I mean, if you really want to get aggressive, the main stage, we all know, Yankee, Red Sox, but I don't want that to happen. Could you imagine, Eric says, could you imagine the Giants written across a 50 home run hitter's chest again? I could only dream. Dude, he would put so many balls into McCovey Cove. I mean, he might hit the new Visa building the way that this guy's just slamming home runs. Yes, it was. AJ, you're right. Torrey Campbell. Oh, man. The something Wong. You're right. Put it on the teleprompter. Burgundy will read it. It was that simple, Sporticus. It really was. The Metropolitan 92s from my boy Larry says, the Metropolitan 92s, which is the team that Victor Wembanyama came from, says they have a player named Ho You Fat. All right, that's fantastic. I mean, that's awesome. I'm interested in that jersey. And indeed, it is RIP Cougar Rebels' birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you, D. Bruce. I appreciate it. Well, I appreciate you, man. You have been among the first to come on in here and be a big part of the community that we're building. And there are just a lot of names that have been here since day one that come back nearly every single day. And believe me, I know who you are. I know who you are. I see your names. I recognize them. You all mean an awful lot to me and my wife. There's no doubt. You mean a lot to what we're building here. We simply could not do it without you. And I am just scrolling down to the very end here to see any more jangles possibly coming on in. Nick J saying that Godfather sauce at Ike's is elite. Yeah, look at it this way. Ike is in the chat. Ike is in the chat. He's what's the old I'm not just the owner. I'm also a member. It's like a hair club for men. Ike's isn't just a sponsor. He's a user here over at Club Plus. So we thank you very, very much. What do we got from New Rock and Era? Ike's is more things in it. You don't get cheated. They pack the meat in. I'm sure Ike would like a t-shirt that says, I pack the meat in. Thank you. Oh, Nick J eloquently talking about Ohtani's home runs. He would put more balls into McCovey Cove than balls in Jenna Jameson circa 1990. Oh, thank you very, very much. On that note, where is it? Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? We're telling Jenna Jameson jokes.
Pound it, pound it, pound it, pound it.
I mean, come on. Legends is totally right here. Ike's better than Jersey Mike's. Indeed. I tell you what, so I don't know where this Golden State Lakota brings up the 21st Amendment. Great place to go get a beer. Yeah, dude. So I'm anti putting anything that is like fruit. Keep your orange out of my Hefeweizen. I don't put fruit in beer. And I, by default, don't like your fancy pants flavored beers. Like one IPA is good for me. Then I want to go right back to like a beer that doesn't taste like a Glade plug-in after a while. But the question about the watermelon lager, high wheat, high watermelon, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It really is. Again, one of those, don't want to drink more than one of them, but one of those things on a nice hot summer day, that's a good beer. It really is. That's a good beer. Stevie P says, Damon, I've been with you since '05. Well, Stevie P, that means you've been there since the very, very beginning. And I thank you very, very much for being there from the beginning. No lime in the Corona, Damon? Not necessary. Not necessary. If you got one, yeah, you can tuck it in. But here's the thing. Here's the direction I usually go in. No Corona. We can do a lot better than a Corona, to be totally honest with you. Thank you to my boys at Black, and thank you to all of you. You're my boys. You're my boys. We need one official. Sip of the day. Sip of the day. There it is. Oh, Erwin even requested it. Look, Erwin, we're thinking alike. Look at you. Sip of the day, Damon. We got one in just for you, Erwin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What do we got here? Gaming Bruce, 400 pounds of Radu is the best? I don't understand that. But thank you. I'm not 400. We're not going up at 400. There goes that Corona sponsorship. Yeah, you might be right about that. Damon, you got to hit the trees one time live. You know, I'm sure. Look at it. Look at this. When we maybe go to, like, you know, that membership level, that will be to where we ask people to come and get high with Damon. But otherwise, you know, here's the thing. I smoke enough weed to where I don't need to be performative with it. You just got to trust your boy. You just got to trust your boy. Sip of the Day. It's a great second title for the show. Well, it's Damon Bruce, the Damon Bruce Show, Damon Bruce Live, Damon Bruce Plus, Damon Bruce Plus, and now we have Damon Bruce Sip of the Day. I mean, that feels like a sponsored segment. How about this? When we get to 10,000 subs, we'll put one in the air. We'll do that, AJ Strong. 10,000 subs, we will put one in the air. DV. Thank you, Bruce. It's a fun format, informative first section, and then just chatting with your audience. I like it. Well, that means you're welcome back to the Club Plus any single time you want to be here. Thank you very much for hanging out today. Thanks to all of you for coming in and making me feel so special, so welcome. You're all welcome in here indeed. But the deal is, when we shut down Club Plus, you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here. Thanks for tuning in.